In just a short time with daily practice on the Crothers 7-man machine, you'll be amazed at the improvement in their equilibrium.
Over the years, the game of football has developed many different training tools to help players prepare. Some more successful than others. But since the turn of the century, of all the gadgets available, one piece of equipment has shot to the head of the pack.
You a fan of the Jugs machine?
Love the Jugs machine, yeah.
I think we lead the league in jug machines. We've made a huge investment in Jugs machines. I think we have probably 8 to 10 of them.
We have a term of old Bruce Lee movie, you know, like I fear the man not with 10,000 kicks, but has one kick who's done it 10,000 times. Like that's catching the jugs over and over and over again to get your skills really right.
It's a hell of an invention, but I have no idea who invented it or where it started. But whoever did, for football, great invention.
That distinction would go to the father of this man, Butch Paulson, president of Jugs Sports in Tualatin, Oregon.
Tualatin. This is command central for Jugs Sports. It's kind of almost Norman Rockwell-ish, but my dad, he loved baseball. Initially, he bought a machine for me to practice with. And he looked around and purchased what he thought was the state of the art at the time. And my dad, being kind of an inventor type, saw once we got the machine that, boy, I can do a lot better than this. And he did. He designed the first machine literally on a cocktail napkin. Made a prototype, and then the rest was history. But what got him into it was his desire just to help me, his kid, become a better player.
The name of John Paulson's new company also came from the baseball diamond.
My dad, growing up, he was a pitcher in college, and a curveball back then in the 20s was called a jug-handled curve. My dad applied that to the machine that he had designed, and it just kind of stuck.
Look at all those guys on the Jugs.
I just want to see you on the Jugs.
Is that a Jugs machine?
Jugs sold its first football machine to the Baltimore Colts in 1975. But it took a while for football's ultimate catching contraption to catch on.
They were using it mostly for punt return practice, and they weren't using it for receivers that much. It wasn't until more recent years, when the game has become more pass-oriented, that sales have taken off. Chris Carter, I got to give him a lot of credit. I think he was the one who really kind of paved the way.
Since about midway through my career, I've always owned a Jugs machine. I always had one in my garage. Because you might not have an Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Brett Favre sitting around, but if you got that Jugs machine, you can get some work in. I've always been addicted to Jugs machine. Like, it was a bad day if I only caught 100 balls on the Jugs machine. I didn't think there was a tool that helped me concentrate and catch the ball better. And when I got into the one-handed catching and starting to practice that just took my game to a whole nother level. So when you see my Hall of Fame clip, you see a one-handed grab in there, you'll see that because of the routine that I had on a daily basis. You'll watch me grab one right below the goalpost. That's because the drills that we did when we shot the ball higher in the red zone, and we were able to get to that exact height there, the toe tap on the sideline, the back of the end zone. The Jugs machine, it made me do that better. Your brain takes pictures, so you see the ball coming like a flash. Within the Jugs machine, I was able to cover all the spots that I could physically get a ball thrown to me. Once I got into the game, there wasn't a blind spot that I have. I've seen that ball. I've caught that ball. Hundreds and hundreds of times.
It's become such a part of training in the game now that these players are getting creative They're trying to figure out every awkward position they can be in a game situation and still catch the ball. Some of the stunts that you see some of the players doing just for fun to challenge themselves, we would have never even dreamed of. I've seen Odell Beckham get like 10 yards away from the machine, and then with every pass, he'll creep in a yard, creep in a yard, creep in a yard, and it's astounding to have reflexes and the strength in hands to do what he can do.
I've seen where guys will get as close as they can, you know, and try to catch it.
Oh, man, that ain't nothing. Come on.
When you put competitive guys in a position to compete,
Turn that thing up. Yeah.
that's when you start to see all those crazy little deals.
Here go one hand right here, Will.
Former Rams lineman Eugene Sims once put on a legendary Jugs performance at training camp.
That boy got hands, bro.
One hand.
Today, Jugs machines aren't just for wide receivers. In fact, thanks to Chris Carter, they've started achieving celebrity status.
Good friend of mine, Snoop Doggy Dogg, I sent him 2 last year. He's got one at his football training facility, and he's got one at his house. Snoop is serious about football. Antonio Brown with the Pittsburgh Steelers sent him one. He's addicted to it. OBJ, Odell Beckham. You see him utilizing it in training. It's nice to see that the younger generation has caught on to what I believe to be the best training tool in football.